Hey guys, it's Brianna from Briannalisaphotography, and I was thinking lately I should start this new mini series called Brianna's Critiques, and it is where I critique your photos of any other model or photographer. So if you want to be featured in the next episode of Brianna's Critiques, you can email me at briannalisaphotography@outlook.com, and I'll take a look at your photos and you'll be on my next episode, and I'll be talking through the things that will make your photograph better, in my opinion. And in no way am I bashing anybody or anything. I'm not trying to bash any other photographer or model or throw them under the bus. It's not to embarrass them. I'm just critiquing their photography in terms of what I learned, because I've been doing photography for a year and I have a lot of knowledge on photography already. So I'm just going to be giving my opinion on how to make the photos better and what to improve on, basically. Okay guys, so the first set of photos I just found online on Google, so I don't know who the models are and I don't know who the photographers are. So the first photo is going to be of this woman looking back at us, and it's a landscape photo. And the first thing I want to talk about is her face, because her face is overexposed, and I think that the photographer had the ISO way too high, and it might have been a bright day, so if her skin is bright and the sun is bright outside, it's going to cancel out her face, and there's no detail on the face. And this photo is very contrasted as well, and it just doesn't really match because all the blacks and the shadows are too dark. You can't really tell because right now her hair looks black and the shirt that she has on looks black as well, and you can't really tell. That's why lining up the shadows is so important, because you don't want to have anything too defined unless it actually fits the photo. And in this case, it doesn't necessarily fit the photo. And I wish that the photographer would have brightened up the photo and made all the harsh shadows less harsh and less contrasted, because I feel like this would have been a good photo if her face wasn't overexposed and the contrast wasn't like that. And also I would have probably cropped the photo in a little bit more, and I see like a little shadow there on the bottom right, and it's just not looking too good for me. I also feel like she should have put her hair back so you can show the neck, because if you're a model, you have to show your neck. It's not like, okay, so let me explain a tip for aspiring models. Learn to be as tedious and as intentional and technical as possible now, so you won't have to worry about it in the future. Like, think of everything when you're posing as a model. Think of your arms, think of your eyes, think of everything like that, so it doesn't turn out really awkward and just staged in the final product. So that's what I have to say for this photo. The next photo is gonna be this woman with the water fountain. She looks like she's right in front of a water fountain. I think she might be on vacation. The first thing I want to mention is the sunglasses. I don't think sunglasses really look good in any photo. Maybe for men, and it depends on the situation, but for women, not really. And this looks like an unedited photo, so that's one. And I like how light the photo is, but her face is a little on the dark side. And the main thing with this photo is that there is water coming out of her head from the water fountain. And in photography, you don't want to have anything sticking out of your subject's head. No pole, no lights, no water, no statue, no anything. You don't want that, because that's very amateur, and it just doesn't look very flattering in the photo. It doesn't look flattering to the eyes, and it doesn't look flattering on the subject. So I would watch for that. And I didn't like the very up close tight photo. I wish it could have been more like back, and I wish it could have been from the waist up, And I feel like that you wouldn't have that much of a problem if it wasn't so tight, because you would be able to move around in the photo and just stand next to the statue with the water coming out instead of right in front of it, because it's a close shot. So that's all I have to say for that photo. Okay, so the next photo we're going to be moving on to is this girl right in front of a bunch of sunflowers. It looks like sunflowers, but then again, not really. And that's the thing, I can't really tell what the flowers are because they're so blurry. And when a photographer goes like to 1.4 aperture, you know, f-stop, it's not really, you don't have to go that low for portraits. Usually you have to go that low for like wildlife photography or macro photography, but for a portrait like this, I don't think it was really necessary to go that far down of an f-stop. I feel like 5.6 would have worked just fine for this photo, but I'm zooming in on her face here, and her face, it does look edited, but it looks like the photographer added a glow, but I feel like the photographer added too much glow. See, I add glows in my photos. In some of my photos, I add a glow to the face and a little bit of a glow to the body, but it's mostly the face. But over here, I feel like the photographer like went a little bit overboard with this one, because I'm zooming in on the face right now, and I don't think that this photographer edited the skin before they put that glow filter or that glow effect on the photo. When you're editing photos, you need to be able to edit the skin first, retouch the skin, and then add whatever effect or whatever you're gonna do to the skin afterwards, so it's a nice clean touch. And that's honestly what I do with my photos. And her hair looks gorgeous, her necklace is gorgeous. I would have edited out her arms, you know, like the dots on her arms. It's freckles, but for me, I like clear skin unless the model tells me, no, I want this body mark on the photos, and then I'll say, okay, I'll leave it in the photos. But if not, I try to make everything as clear and as smooth as humanly possible. And with this little white dot on the top right corner, I would have just edited that out. If the photographer has the tools to edit that kind of stuff out, they should. And I would have just done it, or I would have just cropped it in a little bit so you don't see that white dot. And I feel like there should have been more separation between the subject and the background, which is the flowers, which seem like very pretty flowers, but they all look very blurred out. And I don't know if that was, it seems like it was the camera, but with the glow effect that the photographer put on it, or the editor put on it, it looks like it added glow to the background, therefore it made it very blurry and fuzzy and just unrecognizable. So that's honestly what I would do to fix this photo. Other than that, it's very beautiful. The girl is so pretty. And yes, let's move on to the next photo, which is a girl laying down. Let's see a girl laying down here, and right now I kind of like the moody tones of this photo, but I just don't like her hand placements. It's just very boring, and it's just very posed. It's very staged, and I don't like that her right arm in this photo is like kind of like a fist, and it doesn't look very natural. When you have your hands in a photo, you want your hands to look soft, and preferably models should turn their palms out instead of here, because it looks very, you know, it's just the back of my hand. It's not very inviting. You want to like soft hand. You don't want to ever ball your fist, because that doesn't look, it has a lot of tension in the photo, and that's not the best thing for the model, because the model is just gonna look, it's just not gonna be flattering to them. And with the other hand, her left hand, I would have had it even more soft than just this. I would have done something, I would have separated my fingers a little bit, and I would have had her turn her palm towards the camera. Right now her palm is towards the camera, but I would have separated the fingers a little bit more so it doesn't look like she's just laying there, like she's taking a nap. And her face is just emotionless, just purely emotionless, and it's just, I get no emotion from this photo. Whenever you look at a photograph, you want to feel some type of emotion. You want to imagine some type of event in your head. You want to make a photo move in your head, like tell a story. And right now, this is not really telling me a story. It's just kind of random to me. And I feel like the hair could have been taken care of more well, because I don't like the bang. It's going like right in between her eyebrows, and it kind of looks like she has a unibrow. That's not very flattering, but I love the highlights on her body. I just wish this photograph wasn't as contrasted, but I like the mood and the tones of the photo. So that's all I have to say for this photo.